Welcome back everybody to another Monster Mayhem review, and today we're taking a look at 1957's The Cyclops. So this is directed by Bert I. Gordon, who I've seen 6 other films from. Favourites of his would be the likes of The Food of the Gods, Earth vs. the Spider, and Tormented. So yeah, this is a science fiction horror film clocking in at a mere 66 minutes long. Stars the likes of James Craig, who I've not seen in anything in terms of leading roles before, but he was in supporting roles in the really rather good films While the City Sleeps and All That Money Can Buy. It also stars Gloria Talbot, who was in a couple of other similar efforts to this with the likes of I Married a Monster from Outer Space and The Leech Woman. You've also got Lon Chaney Jr., who's ultimately probably the biggest star of this film. Seen him in 24 other films. Favourites would be the likes of several of the numerous Universal horror films he was in during his stint in those in the 30s and 40s, such as The Wolfman. He was also in the Inner Sanctum series, which is a 6 films, I think it was. That Eureka released in a single release of their own, and it was also in The Haunted Palace alongside Vincent Price. So yeah, definitely the biggest star out of the 3 of those. But nonetheless, a test pilot is missing, and a search party, which includes his, I think it is his fiance or his wife. Yeah, fiance. Is sent out into the jungles of Mexico, so kind of links up with the Black Scorpion in terms of a different setting to the usual kind of film like this. However, while searching, they uncover a monster in the jungle who has become a 25-foot Cyclops due to a dose of radioactivity. So this is by no means the best Bert I. Gordon film I've seen, which he also wrote, produced, and did some of the special effects for. But that is nonetheless nonetheless it is a film that doesn't outstay its welcome, and some of the effects do actually work, which is certainly not the case for some of his lesser efforts that Gordon did. It is also well paced, the Cyclops looks good, the cast is solid, and it is predominantly engrossing. Sadly, despite some of the effects working, they do unfortunately still have that disconnect due to the way that they are executed. So generally it's rear screen projection, or superimposing another bit of footage from another shoot onto the film itself, and then enlarging it so that animals like rats and spiders and such look bigger than they actually are. And in some cases it looks really rather quite transparent in terms of the image, so it's not done all that well, unfortunately. And yeah, as a result, most of the effects don't work more than they do, and when they don't work, and when they really don't work, should I say, they are laughably bad. The plot is also nothing we haven't seen before, so it feels awfully familiar and predictable. And in fact, Gordon himself would do another giant run as a mock film in the same year as this with The Amazing Colossal Man, which was followed up in 1958 with the sequel War of the Colossal Beast, because the first film did so well, it made like $700,000 profit at the very least. So yeah, unfortunately, not my favourite Bert I. Gordon release, although to be honest, none of his films have gotten above a 3 out of 5 rating, and this gets a 2.5 out of 5. So not the worst that I've seen from him. I think the beginning of the end I enjoyed even less than this. I think that's the one with the giant crickets in that one. Yeah, not as good as the 3 that I mentioned earlier. Definitely not his worst. In fact, we'll be looking at another one of his releases, I think next month, from Eureka, Empire of the Ants, which I don't believe I enjoyed as much as this, but who knows, maybe I'll have gained a new appreciation for it. But yeah, so that's the disc itself. There's no reversible sleeve artwork, and the only extra on here is a trailer. So yeah, not full blown with extras or anything like that, but nonetheless, I do enjoy these kind of sci-fi films from the 1950s, regardless of quality. There's several that have been awful, even worse than this, and several that have been much better. But at the end of the day, I enjoy them regardless of the quality. So yeah, that is a Cyclops. Not sure how many more of these Monster Mayhem films we're going to be looking at. Obviously, we've only got a few more days left in the month. Maybe one more, potentially 2, depending on if I can fit them in or not, because my schedule at the moment has got a little bit more hectic than usual. So yeah, but nonetheless, if you have seen the Cyclops before, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.